Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Work at Home Rockstar podcast. I'm excited for today's episode. We have a fellow Canadian again. And what he does is he helps self-employed entrepreneurs and service-based businesses automate their marketing and client acquisition. Excited to be rocking out today with Alex Thoric. Hey, Alex, are you ready to rock?
Oh, yes.
Perfect. So we always start off here in a good note. So tell me a story of success in your business that we can be inspired by.
Sure. When I started with my first with my main marketing agency, the first client that I got was a spa owner, and she just got started. She got her space. She got this nice office on one of the busy streets in Montreal. But then she wasn't really getting much traffic, even though she had the front what do you call them? The front store, pretty much, with the glass. Um, so I got in touch with her, and also the way that I got an appointment with her, one of my sales coach gave me this idea of giving people, say when you meet with them in person, is to give them a Starbucks card. And the Starbucks card is like maybe like you put $10 on it so the person can get themselves a nice coffee, and that made a huge difference. So we started working together. We crushed it the first month. She saw all these results. So we ended up working for a year and a half or so. And then throughout that year and even later, like till now, we still talk. And when we talk, she always reminds me, she's like, whenever I go to Starbucks or I drink coffee, I remember, I think about you. So that little trick, which costed me literally $10, made a huge difference.
Oh, such a great idea. And it's so funny when you give, you get so much more, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
And especially when you're it's the little it's so funny that it's the little things. People like overcomplicate it all the time. Like, oh, I need to give like this, really, really big, meaningful gift when a gift card with $10 on it. You know? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's what really matters. You know how people say small things make a big difference.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, that's exactly right. So now with the good note, there's often a bad note that accompanies it. It can't all work perfectly, right? So tell me, is there something that didn't work, as planned, like a mistake you made that we can learn from?
Yeah, well, I did have a couple of things, but I guess the main one that I like to refer to is when I started my first marketing agency. So it was four of us. Well, I would say three of us because the fourth guy, he was kind of there for 2 months, and then he started his own thing, or he's a successful business owner today. So it was three of us, and then people told us because we knew each other from the previous network marketing company. And when you're in network marketing, they always talk about leadership and personal development. And we already knew that, so we were trying to improve ourselves all the time. And when we started the business all together, people would tell us, well, guys, friendship and business is not the same thing. And we thought, no, we're going to figure it out. Yes, we know. We thank you for the advice. But then eventually it didn't work out. And there were a couple of things that I definitely learned from that. When you go into the business, you better know the person that you go in business with. Yeah, so it didn't really work out with one of the guys. So I eventually decided to leave the agency and then start my own, and they were okay with that because I focused on other things. But then, yeah, it's important to know who you go in business with.
And sometimes you might so would you recommend that you do the background and find out that information?
I would say do the personality test. So even if you don't, I know that sometimes employers ask employees to do the personality test. I think it's a great idea to do the same thing with your business partner, just for you at least to see what the person is good at and then what the person can focus on. And then you know your strong points. And then let's say even if you're having an argument, you will know how that person looks at things based on their personality because you know what's important to them, and vice versa. They'll know what's important to you based on your personality. So you don't really need to stay there and trying to figure out what's going on and why did this happen. You'll just know that they're that type of person.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. And like I think that in some cases you don't even need necessarily a partner. You can both have your own businesses. But then on the other hand, there are some situations where, partnership is important. So
100%,
yeah.
yeah. So it's joined forces. So basically, it was three of us, and then I left. They were doing it together, and then so the other guy also kind of left. So my best friend, he kept running the business by himself, and then I was focusing on my industry on the marketing side. He was focusing on his. We were kind of doing similar services, but providing similar services, and then we would just exchange clients. Let's say if I wouldn't do insurance, I would just send them to him, or let's say real estate, everything that's related to that. I'll send them to him, and then vice versa. Like I would get spa, restaurants, or gym clients, because that's what I would focus on the most. And then we realized that after this many years of experience, we figured out that there is a way. There is this. There there are these steps that we follow every single time when our clients get crazy good results, and those we figure out that those we have those 9 steps. So we decided to create this coaching program and then start helping service-based businesses and service-based entrepreneurs, self-employed entrepreneurs, pretty much guide them through the process, because a lot of people start in the journey, and that's how we started. Like we didn't know anything, and then you get a course here, get a course there, you watch a YouTube video here, and it's a little bit all over the place. And then we try to pretty much put it all together into this system.
Love it. Right on. Okay, so let's talk about, how to build that fan base, I guess. Because I mean, hey, we all know that the audience is everywhere on social media nowadays, but how do you get them to be fans of you, specifically?
Yeah. So when it comes down to the marketing side of things, especially with social media, what's important is, of course, to create content in order to be in front of people. To create, I'm sure if you know Gary Vee, and he's preaching, create content, create
Yeah.
4 posts a day, which is important, and a lot of people don't really have the time to do it. What we usually do ourselves, and we suggest our clients to do, is to create batch content. So let's say you take one day, maybe let's say 3 to 4 hours out of the month, you record those videos, whether they are long form videos or short form videos, or just post standard posts. Then you can schedule all of them, post produce and schedule them in another 4 hours. So you can literally create 1 month worth of content in 8 hours. So it's create and edit it in 8 hours. But then if
Wow.
you pretty much focus on that, if you take the entire day out of the month and then you do it once and it's done, and it's good to go. So that's one thing. And then what we also like to do, we take the I'm sure you're using yourselves all the short form videos, or you've seen it online with YouTube shorts or Instagram and Facebook Reels, kind of a TikTok style videos. So in case with those, what you could do is take them and then run some ads, literally take Facebook ads and then run some ads on Facebook and Instagram, targeting your audience. Especially, let's say, if you are, if you want to maybe start in the beginning with your local area and then target your people with the content. So you don't necessarily need to sell anything. Just push the content. Just put some, let's say, $5 a day behind that content. Let people see you. Let people consume your content. Again, it's bringing value first, right? Just like with a $10 gift card. And with that, you know how people buy from businesses. They don't necessarily buy from businesses. They buy from people only when they know, like, and trust us. So at this point, they will see your content. If they like you, well, they'll follow you, they'll engage with it, and then if they trust you enough, they will come to you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're giving away free content, meaning you're giving away free value, you're showing them that you know what you're doing, right? You're
Pretty
showing them
much.
your competency. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So it's as I don't know if you know Frank Hearn, one of my favorite mentors, as he says, just help people by actually helping them. Because a lot of times, like, you see all these ads on social media, where they tell you, hey, if you're a coach or consultant, if you're this and that, we have this special thing, which is a hook for them, which makes sense. It's an ad.
Yeah.
But then most of the times they don't necessarily help you. So in this case, we kind of reverse engineer a little bit. So we give them, we provide value first. We do put some ad dollars behind it. You can definitely do it organically. It's just going to take a little bit more time. So if you want to fast track it, $5 a day is more than enough.
So, okay, so let me ask you this question because I imagine that, everybody, I know even myself, when you first hear this idea of like, okay, we're going to go out there and we're going to give all this value out. Are you literally like what would be the incentive for them to hire you if they're getting everything that they need for free? Or is there a line that you have?
No, not necessarily. So you give your information for free, but then you sell the implementation because most of the times people will not do it themselves. Because I'm gonna give you an example. I'm not really good in bookkeeping and accounting. Yes, I can go and learn on YouTube and take different courses and do it myself, but then I'm not gonna do it myself. I know it. So it's easier for me to get a bookkeeper.
And that's the thing is that uh depending on who your audience is, I suppose. Because if your audience is a business audience, then definitely for sure they have the thing that they do well. They don't want to do the thing that you do, right? They want to find somebody who does it well, right?
Oh yes, yeah.
So that's a no-brainer if you're a business to business to business business.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it depends where your audience is. So let's say, as I mentioned, if it's B2B, you 100% have to be on LinkedIn. 80%
Mhm.
of B2B deals are done through LinkedIn, but you can still use Facebook and Instagram because let's say if we look at LinkedIn, I wouldn't, I mean, you can advertise there if you want to, but it's going to cost you quite a lot. Like the cost per lead is a good quality lead is about $100. So if you have the budget, go ahead and do that. On LinkedIn, you can just again create content and engage with other people, and that's what every platform wants pretty much. So you create content, you engage with other people within comments within their content. You DM other people, so you post stories, so the platform sees that you are a pretty active user.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and people definitely now, but always, people like to get referrals. People like to ask their network, who do you know that does this, right? And so if you're out there putting out content, even if it is to somebody who's not your client, you never know who they know. They might know somebody, and then all of a sudden their friend says, "Hey, I'm looking for a copywriter, or I'm looking for a, web person, or whatever it happens to be," and
Hmm.
they keep seeing your ads, or not your ads, your content.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
they just say, "Oh, well, this guy's been showing up on my feed quite often. Go,
and
let's see
that's
what he's selling."
yes, and that's what people also like. So when you do post consistently, people they do say that you're being consistent with your message and with your content, which makes you look professional because you are consistent with your craft pretty much.
So now let's talk a little bit about the cash flow side of it, and keeping the cash flow is what I call it. But like, how do you decide how much money to put into your ads when you're creating them?
Usually as a rule of thumb across all industries, you would take 10% of your revenue and put into marketing or advertisement. So let's say whatever you make, 10% into ads. Then of course it depends. Maybe you don't even need to put that much. Again, depending on your revenue. Uh, but in the beginning, you can start with, and that's why I say $5 a day for the content side of things, just to push that message. You can push out different videos or different even. I mean, we're running a campaign right now with simple image where it says the image is created in Canva, where it says 5 ways to get clients this month. No, yeah, 5 ways to get clients this month. And in the copy itself, we literally give 5 ways. So step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then at the end, tell people if you're interested in learning more and how you can implement that, let us know. But then we pretty much give it out, and the engagement is getting crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. And it's simple too. Like that's the thing is that you're not giving away the farm. You're giving away five reasons. Come on. Right?
Yeah, and it has to be simple because I don't know, people like to overcomplicate things. That's how
Mhm.
we are as human beings, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And what platforms are you running that on right now then?
So it's Facebook and Instagram mostly for the ad side of things. You could do a similar thing on YouTube, but in case with YouTube, you could do the similar thing on YouTube if you want to grow your channel. So let's say take a snippet off from your video and then run those ads. I've seen there is this, I forgot the name of the company. Um, they also they help businesses, they help companies run Google ads for you pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, and what they do, they get on, I think they go live once a week and they go over different changes that Google has introduced or different tricks that you could use in order to improve your Google ads. So they literally take the 45-minute video and they run it as an ad. But then they do, let's say they take an interesting part of the video, they put it in the beginning. You see the beginning because you want to hook people in because you only have 5 seconds. And then after that, everyone skips, you know how it is.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's the thing, you put your best part at the very beginning, and then, if that's all they listen to, that's fine, right?
Yeah, to hook them in. And then you could do a similar thing with short form content. And the way I look at short form content is the short form video content is it's like you placing hooks all across the internet in order to bring people to your, let's say, podcast, to bring them to your longer form content on YouTube, maybe, or to bring them to wherever you want to bring them. But most of
Right
the
on.
times people they see all those little things, all those little hooks, the little videos, they follow you, they engage with you. Um, and then after that they consume the longer form, and that's when they decide to buy from you pretty much.
So now, especially when people get started in their business, sometimes there is a little bit more money going out than coming in. Do you have any other cash flow tips that we can benefit from?
100%. So well, so yeah, the advertisement is one of them. Um, sending out reaching out to people pretty much. So on LinkedIn, you have the limit these days it's the limit of 20 people per day. If you'll do more than that, LinkedIn will block you. You can definitely, I would suggest to, let's say, instead of maybe you running ads, you can get yourself a LinkedIn navigator if you're in B2B, right? And I think it's $120 a month. But then the way LinkedIn does it is, I call it, they pretty much give you access to the entire database because you can find anyone. You can look, let's say,
Wow.
yeah, find people based on the industry, based on number of employees. I think based on the revenue of the company as well. So let's say if the company already has a number of employees, let's say from 1 to 10 at least, or maybe from 10 to, I think it's 10 to 20. Um, that means the company is more or less stable. So they do have the cash flow, and then you can reach out to them and you can find the decision makers. And let's say for the decision makers, that this is pretty much like when you set up ads. I don't know if you've tried running ads on Google or Facebook. So when you set them up, that's what you usually do. That's what you usually do. But then in case with LinkedIn, that's how you find people.
Hey Rockstar, I hope you're enjoying this episode of the Work at Home Rockstar podcast. If you didn't know already, my business is Creative Crew Agency. We build websites. Now, let's talk about your website for a minute. Most people realize that at this day and age, we need a website, but we don't really know what the website is supposed to do. And sometimes you'll just go and build a website for the sake of building a website. What I do is I make sure that your website actually accomplishes a goal. Now, there are three main goals to most websites. Number one is to provide information and build credibility. Number two is to schedule some sort of appointment and get them onto a sales call. Number three is to sell something like an e-commerce site. Now, when you're setting your website, you have to be very mindful that the visitor doesn't know what to do. And so you have to provide them with a roadmap that leads them down a path to wherever you want them to go. On my website, I want them to be on a free consultation. So that's why when you go to creativecrewagency.com, you'll see information about scheduling a free consultation. Now, for you though, I'm going to provide you with an extra link so that you can get your free website audit. Go to creativecrewagency.com/free website audit and schedule an audit with me. And I'll go through your website live and determine what we can do to improve your conversions and make sure that you're getting the business from your website. Go to creativecrewagency.com and we'll see you there.
and you can reach out to them. And then in case when you have LinkedIn Sales Navigator, they give you, I would say you could do up to 80 outreaches per day. Plus they give you 50 emails. So I'll say if the person doesn't let you send them a message without being connected, you can do an email.
Right on.
Yeah.
So really, like in the very beginning, the best thing to do is use your time, right?
Yeah. In the beginning, it's a little bit of hustle, but like at BID, we like to say hustle less, earn more, and that's why we created this 9-step roadmap.
Yeah,
but yeah,
because then you can use some tools, and then as time goes on, you generate more income, then you can add more tools because eventually the tools do the hustling for you, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Right on. So now we talked a little bit about a partnership a little while ago, but what about like if you're going to be delegating things? Like how do you build your band? What's your tips on that?
So with the delegation side of things, I would say delegate what you're not good at. As I mentioned, the bookkeeping and accounting. That's something that I don't like. I can get good at it, but that's something that I do not like. Let's say in case with the agency side of things, so we do have, and most of the times with every business, you do have marketing, sales, and fulfillment, kind of 3 pillars. So you could choose one of them that you personally want to focus on and then delegate to others. Or maybe you could do marketing and sales, because let's say if you do outreach to businesses, to potential clients, that's going to be marketing, and then you'll do the sales side of things. But then try to find someone who will be doing the fulfillment.
Okay.
And this way, because it's important, especially in the beginning, it's important to focus on the revenue generating activities.
Totally. And do you have like any guidelines on how to find the right people for those roles?
For the fulfillment side of things?
For any delegating.
Well, for the fulfillment side of things, we usually do, let's say if we even put out a job position, sometimes it's part-time, sometimes it's per project based. We ask people to send us the information about what they've done previously, but then we also ask them to send us a 1-minute video explaining why they would like to be part of this project, or why they would like to be part of our team. And then honestly, 80% of people don't do it. So if they're not willing to do, we're just asking, like, can you send us a simple video? We're not asking to do a Hollywood type of video. And this pretty much filters out 80% of people.
Love it.
And yeah, this is just a step to see who is serious about the position. And then other people just send the video, and then we do the interview process with them, and then take it from there.
Nice.
But
I was wondering if you were going to say that you do this personality test.
no. We might
that
actually.
Might be expensive, right?
We might actually. Yeah, it depends which company you go with, I guess. Like some of them are like $30, which is not that bad. But still, I mean, if let's say if you have 10 people, and then it's $300, and you just hire one, maybe it's worth it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I really like your idea of the simple video, because there's got to be something, like I have noticed that there's got to be something that filters out the people that really shouldn't be there, right? There's got to be something.
Oh yeah, and the reason why we're doing it is just to see the type of person that he or she is, and see the type of personality.
Yeah,
So
because that's another thing too. They have to fit in your culture, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest part.
Yeah. And when it comes to the CV, to their experience, how do you verify that?
So when it comes down to, let's say, if it's something that's related to the ad copy, we just ask to write an ad copy. Like we just sit down, and they can either write it in front of us or prepare and send it to us. If let's say if it's something that's related to ads, maybe they can just create an ad in front of us so we can see that they know what they're doing. At least the most important things. And then the rest can follow, like all those little things, all the little tricks. in case with this systematizing or automation side of things, I say building the funnel and then emails and all those things. The funnel side of things, most of the times people that already have done it, they already have their portfolio.
Yeah.
So they just send to us, and we can see based on that. Just like in case with websites, pretty much, because you can see the real thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, we're not gonna tell them, hey, build a new funnel. That's gonna take quite a bit of time.
Yeah, and I mean that's a little unfair for them to do that for free, right? For an interview,
Yeah,
right?
of course, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
like it.
so we're trying to ask them to do something that it's not gonna take more than 15 minutes, 20 max.
And for a long-term relationship, I mean, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody who's willing to put in a little bit of work for it, right?
Yeah.
It shows their work ethic. It shows
Yeah,
what they're willing to do. It shows their personality. Awesome. Right on.
yeah. How serious they are, yeah.
Cool. So now it's time for your guest solo. So tell me what's exciting in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are at Building Income on Demand. We have one of the main programs, which is the bootcamp. We're super excited about it. So we did our beta version last year. It worked out pretty well, and then now we're launching the live version, where we'll be taking basically up to 30 people in our group. It's going to be a 6-week program, and we pretty much take them by the hand and guide them through every step of this way, through all these 9 steps, in order to help them with. In the beginning, it all comes down to mindset. That's what we try to cover, all the basics, and then we go through every single step, like offer creation and the content and landing pages. And then after that, when we have everything built out, that's when we kind of start running ads in a way. Or
Really?
even in case with content, or in case with outreach, you still need to have some basics at least before you can start reaching out, let's say one-to-one, or running ads to your funnel.
Cool. So this is like an in-person event that you guys are going to be
Uh,
doing.
yeah, no. So those are live events,
Virtual?
but online. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right on.
Yeah.
So you can actually serve people from anywhere, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. In a way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
Once.
so if someone wants to find out more about actually, before I ask that, who do you think would be the ideal person that would get the most out of any one of your programs?
The ideal person would be, I would say, a service-based business owner who maybe runs, let's say, a spa, gym, who does real estate or insurance. Um, I mean, a real estate or insurance agent, mortgages. So those are the 5 main ones, because the
Right on.
systems and processes are pretty much the same or similar, I would say. But then, of course, for specific industries, you would need to craft a different offer and then create different types of content. And you would have a little bit of a different back end.
Okay. And
Yeah.
would they be people more at the beginning of their journey or someone who's more intermediate?
Honestly, it doesn't matter, because we've been we've been working on the agency side of things with people that been in the industry for 10, 20 years, and they didn't have their systems in place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, seriously? Like some people didn't even use CRMs. I'm like, you've been running business for 10 years. How do you keep track of all the people? It's like, well, we just use Excel spreadsheets. And that's how a
Yeah.
lot of people do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so actually that's another question then. So what would be the main advantage of using a CRM versus an Excel spreadsheet for their contact management?
So in case with the CRM, you can see pretty much the number of opportunities that you have. You can see the pipeline where they're in the process. So let's say they're in the beginning, they're leads, then maybe they're interested. Maybe you can also create a qualification that it's a qualified lead. And the next step could be you lost the deal or you won the deal. So you can have all these 5 steps, and then you can see how many people you have in the pipeline. You could do a
Okay.
similar thing within the Excel spreadsheet. Like one of our gym clients still has it. So like they're still using it. And then they also have the CRM.
Right. Right. So I guess people that are using the spreadsheet version are they just have to have a good memory. They have to know where everybody is, or
Yeah, it's that, and also in case with CRM, you can always, because you can go into the lead himself and then add different, let's say, notes. And if you need to follow up with a person, you can add yourself a task, maybe set a deadline, and then when you go into your task list of tasks, let's say every day you do a follow up for an hour, you can go into the list of tasks and basically cross them off.
so it just kind of keeps track. And also, if we're going back to the whole delegating side of it, if you have an assistant, it's way easier to have a CRM that would be able
Oh
to
yeah,
handle,
yeah.
because then you can both be putting things in there instead of you going from memory. Because you're probably right. There probably is a lot of people that are in that boat that just they've been doing it for 10 years. They've got a great memory. They understand all their people. But if they need to scale, or if they need to hire on an assistant, that assistant is not going to be able to just go to your spreadsheet and help you, right?
Yeah, that's going to be quite a lot of stuff to do within the spreadsheet. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So now, okay, so tell me a little bit more about how to find you online.
Sure, you can find me on Instagram. It's at Alex Thoric. It's pretty much everywhere on every platform at Alex Thoric. If your audience would like to maybe learn more about this 9-step system and then download the roadmap and to see what it looks like, so they can implement by themselves, they can go to bidacademypodcast.com and check it out for themselves.
Perfect. What was that address again?
It's BID Academy
BID.
Podcast. Yeah. So it's short for Building Income on Demand. So the idea of the name was whenever you need to get more sales, get more leads, you need to get more income on demand. You plug in the system, you turn on the ads, and you let the system work. And the idea of this entire system is for you not to hustle, hustle, hustle. You set it up once and it works for you 24/7, and you just need to send traffic. That's it.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Right on. Thank you so much for rocking out with me today, Alex. This has been good value.
Thanks for having me.
Right on. And to the listeners, make sure you subscribe, rate, and comment. We'll see you next time on the Work at Home Rockstar podcast.